You got something special to drink, but I'm going to go first. You're listening to episode 229 of the Illustrious Gentlemen. That's Scott. He draws all your favorite superhero comics over at DC. I'm Ryan. I color some comics at Image Comics and other places. I sometimes draw comics as well. Go to tigshow.com, click on the Support the Pod link, find out all the affordable and, quite frankly, badass ways you can support the podcast. If you're looking to rebel against your parents, kids, this is the way to do it, is to become a Patreon or become a patron at Patreon. I hate that. I hate that so much that it's just not patreon.com.
Are you listening to that damn show again?
Yeah. Kids are going to have to hide thumb drives of our podcast under their pillows and shit. Go to tigshow.com, get all the stuff there. And, I'm about to be interrupted maybe. Maybe not.
Don't lie to me. I found your playlist.
Yeah. You were listening to episode 229 of that show. I can't believe someone's allowed them to make 229 episodes of that filth. Speaking of filth, I don't know if it's going to be filthy or not. I found out that New Belgium has a new Voodoo Ranger out. So I picked one up. It's Future Hop IPA. And it's like a futuristic DJ with a Nintendo Power Glove on. So I picked it up at the store at the local Fry's. It's most of these new Voodoo Rangers are, if I'm not incorrect, they're 6.7% is what they normally do. Pretty standard, but this one is 8%. Or maybe they're 7.7. This one is 8. Whatever. It's strong because it's the future, and to live in the future, we're going to leave for our children. They're going to have to be at least 8% strong. Grr.
Now I'm thinking I want Voodoo Ranger to do a movie line. You could have Robo Hop, and Samurai Hop,
right? The shared
Karate Hop,
the shared NBVR universe,
Hollywood Hop,
right?
Kindergarten Hop.
So again, New Belgium's Voodoo Ranger Future Hop IPA, 8%. Connor H. on Untapped says, quote, "I do not like New Belgium or the Voodoo series. More like Voo don't. This one was fine though." End quote.
A slide whistle sound effect.
So we're going to find out if this is a Voodoo or a Voo don't. It smells like every other IPA on the planet. Last night at dinner, I had 2 IPAs, one local, one out of California. I came home and cracked a Coors Banquet, and it was the best beer I had. So I think I'm just going to slowly go into the guy that's just what Miller product do you have that I can put in my mouth for $1 less than your fancy hops? Take your fancy hops and get on out.
Yeah, an IPA, a good IPA is really good, but a lot of them are
average.
I don't know. I was going to say even average is bad as far as IPAs go, but maybe not. Maybe that's just a truth that I hold for myself. Capital T truth.
That's right. It's important to speak it, and I'm glad you told me about how you feel about IPAs currently. I'm glad that you have trust in me that you could tell me that.
Yeah, you want me to do mine?
Yeah, please.
I'm cracking open my Russell's Reserve 10-year that my lovely cousin Matthew from Michigan sent me for my birthday. So thank you, sir. I know he doesn't listen because he has taste. Like I said, it's a 10-year. It's a 90 proof. This is a Wild Turkey deal. I also got a bottle of 101 for my birthday, which is very nice. It's 10 years. Great. 8 to 10 is sort of my sweet spot for bourbons age-wise. So I'm excited about this one. What does it say? Gary Elofson on distiller.com says almond joy or toasted coconut immediately. I mean, I emphasized that on my own. Not like you wanted it right now, but that's the first thing you get. and I nicked all of my kids' Almond Joys and Mounds bars out of their Halloween candy. So this is the anticipation is high.
You have good taste in the kinds of genres that you like, but you have bad taste in specifics within those genres. Who the fuck eats an Almond Joy, or what was the other one that you just said? A fucking
Mounds
bar. Who eats that garbage?
It's good stuff. Coconut flavored stuff is great.
Coconut flavored stuff is the worst, and coconut is the worst.
Fuck out.
Coconuts are the worst offenders of coconut flavored things. It's like eating chewy, soggy paper.
Right. You hate coconut flavored fruit.
Yeah, I just hate all of it.
Or a nut it's a nut. It's coconut. There it is. It's in the name. Anyway, we'll see. It's got legs you would expect for a 90 proof.
Knows how to use them.
It's no 101. 101's legs go all the way up.
Now, it's nice that you have a cousin that I assume you never see who sent you booze for your birthday.
This is true. Yeah.
It's
a big birthday.
I see you. I see you
as far as other people are concerned.
I see you several times a year, and I did not give you anything for your birthday.
That's great. I hate attention. I can't even believe I've done 200 plus episodes of this fucking show.
Although, spoiler alert, something's going to show up on your door before 7 p.m. tonight. I'll be sure to have my pants on when I show up. Yeah, so there we are. You're drinking.
Do I need to be alone when it gets here?
No, it doesn't matter. It's fun for the whole family. All right, so you're drinking your bourbon, and I'm drinking my Voodoo Ranger Future Hop. I can't believe I already haven't evolved past you after 2 sips of this beer. So it's been a couple weeks since we chatted.
Things are different. The world has changed.
That's right. Things are different. I've been to New Mexico and back. So last weekend,
how many time?
Yeah, last weekend was I always look for an excuse to go to New Mexico because I could see my friends and family out there, basically. So this excuse was the New Mexico Comic and Film Expo. I did not meet the owner, but shout out to Mark Fenton if he's listening. He brought me out. I just didn't meet the guy who runs the show. So there's a lot of actors and some comic people out there. They had the cast of like the Mighty Ducks. Obviously not Joshua Jackson because
he's busy.
He's Josh Jackson. But they had the rest, and they didn't have Keenan because he's busy too. But they had the rest of them.
Did they have Emilio?
No.
Oh,
because
he's not busy. He just didn't want to be there.
Oh, he's probably filming season 2 of the reboot on Disney Plus. There's a new Mighty Ducks on Disney Plus.
Oh God.
Yeah. Gordon Bombay.
Can you imagine if you were Gordon Bombay?
Yeah, like in real life.
Can I just coach a team that knows how to play hockey?
Right, yeah. Like that, I'm never going to watch that show, but that should be the whole first 10 minutes of the first episode. Is like, I've already done this.
Not again.
Twice. Wah, wah. And then they had the cast of Sandlot there. And I keep wanting to say the kids from Sandlot, but they're like 2 years younger than me. But the only thing I noticed was they weren't. No one was overly friendly. Let's put it that way. In the green room, none of the actors were overly friendly, except Lex Luthor's dad from Smallville. He was friendly. I guess Lex Luthor, right? Because the other one was Lex Luthor Jr. So Lex Luthor, right? Was it Michael Rosenbaum, Lex Luthor Jr.?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't think so. His dad's name was something else. I don't remember.
Okay.
Was he also the dad of Dr. Savannah in the Shazam movie?
I don't know.
He was totally the scientist that was creating Banes, right? In Batman and Robin. I think so. I think I'm right on this.
Well, he's a nice dude, and he was walking around chatting with everybody.
I'm sure. He's a character actor. Those are all nice people.
Yeah. The one kid, though, kid, one of the actors from the main character from The Sandlot, the kid who couldn't catch a ball.
Yeah.
Because somehow kids grow up not knowing how to catch balls or throw a ball. That's another thing I don't get. I just thought you're born with that. Anyways, that actor, at one point, he was walking out of the green room when I was walking in, and I had my Illustrious Gentlemen shirt on. It just says The Illustrious Gentlemen in block letters. And he was like, "Cool shirt, man." And I was like, "Thanks." So
That's the whole story.
That was my brush with celebrity. I was going to tell him how much I liked him in The Black Donnellys, which was a show he was on. But
is that the curly-haired kid?
No, blonde-haired kid.
Oh, I don't know. I've never seen that movie.
You've never seen The Sandlot?
No. What do you mean? Don't clutch your pearls and shit. This is not a touchstone film.
It is for a lot of people.
I don't want to meet those people.
Okay, so anyways, that was my brush with fame this past weekend. If you don't count Aaron Campbell, which I don't.
It does.
And then the other best part was I got to hang out with my friend that lives there. And they're so used to me being there for the show, my friend that lives there, that they're cool just like hanging out with comic people. Like I just sort of put myself in the middle of the two groups and I sort of split my time. So they just hung out both nights. But I also hung out with Ben Templesmith's good dude. Aaron Campbell came out. Aforementioned Mark Fenton. Gonzo was there. He drove us out. He had a table too. He didn't just drive us there and drop us off. He stayed for the weekend as well.
And then came back to get you.
Right. And then there's an artist who I never really knew his work. Name sounded familiar. Jason Badauer. I just want to give a shout out to Jason Badauer. Super nice guy. I think I was texting you. I was between him and Templesmith, and they're both Australian. And the first night when I got drunk, I started asking everyone if tomorrow when I go to the con, should I speak Australian?
Oh, I thought you just started doing it while you were drunk.
No, I tried to. I really had to make an effort not to slip into an accent, like a warm bed. Listen to those two talk. But also Jason is super, he's one of those super upbeat guys that's always positive. He's like a Ted Lasso of comic book Australians and who now live in Boston. But yeah, he was, at one point I said, it must be exhausting being like this up all the time. And he was just like, I just want everyone to have a great experience. And I was like, where am I? And why can't I be more like you? So
I wonder, I hope being like that is part of his great experience and he's not sacrificing his good experience for others.
Yeah, he seemed to really be enjoying it, but he also mentioned he hadn't done cons in a few years, so maybe he just hasn't been beaten. He hasn't been beaten down by looky-loos yet. But yeah, fun time in Albuquerque, fun people, fun hang. The show is the show. There's not much you can do about the city of Albuquerque. The show's the show.
Yeah,
but also the show might just be me because Gonzo.
I think that's the city motto, right?
Yeah,
there's not much you can do.
It's Albuquerque. ... It's Albuquerque. But Gonzo did fine. Ben Templesmith did fine.
Sure, I'm sure. Yeah,
it helps when you're a really well-known artist and you can get those commissions. But good for them. I had fun. Next year, when we do it, we're going to build in an extra day for travel because we drove 7 hours, set up, did the show. So we only had one full day in Albuquerque. Drove in Friday, did the show, drove out Sunday right after the show. So that was a little tiring. And because of my OCD, Gonzo's a fine driver. There weren't any problems. But because of my OCD, you know what it's like sitting shotgun with someone on a road trip if you're not driving.
Sure, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I would get over now. Or I wouldn't have got over now. Every decision, I'm like, I would have done something
when
different.
I'm not driving, I just have to look out the side window the entire time. If I look straight ahead, I'm going to freak out.
Yeah. But it was good. We had fun. We drove up through the White Mountains through Payson that way. So sorry.
Good.
HVAC guy is grabbing his ladder. Yeah. So I had fun.
Good.
Good.
That's what she should do. That's the whole point of the thing.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to roll into sports figure we both hate? And I don't know if we hate him for the same reason.
Oh, I don't know. Let's hear it. Why do you hate Aaron Rodgers?
Well,
Aaron motherfucking Rodgers.
I don't like this late in life look that he's achieving. Like he's trying to be Matthew McConaughey, but it's like he tried on his Matt McConaughey pants at like 34 and was like, I'm just going to be the dude now. So I don't like that look. Like it looks like he hasn't washed his hair in a couple weeks. Like, dude, come on.
And one of the problems is his face looks a hell of a lot older than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks like he's a 50-year-old quarterback on his last leg, and I think he's probably in his early 30s. Yeah. So I don't like the way he looks. I don't like that they beat us, but that wasn't his problem. That's because AJ Green. No,
he didn't do it. The Cardinals beat themselves.
AJ Green doesn't know how to turn around to look for a pass that's going to his face. So that's why we lost that game. But yeah, I mostly hate him because he's a big fat fucking liar.
Oh, what a story.
Big fat fucking liar. And it came out today that no, that's something different. I was gonna say someone. Yeah, I think someone just came down, tested positive for COVID, like on the Cardinals. And we just played them on Thursday.
Right.
So what's the exposure rate there? What's that? And I know it's hard to pinpoint who it was, but don't answer a question when someone in the media says, "Are you vaccinated?" Don't say, "Yeah, I'm immunized," and then try to play us, Aaron Rodgers. And then they're trying to say the franchise is coming out saying like, well, he's been following unvaccinated protocol, so it's not that big of a deal. And then immediately, like a photo of him at a Halloween party comes up, like the day before he tested positive, like a crowded like team holiday party.
And didn't he and his child bride also go on some Hawaiian vacation with Miles Teller?
Yeah,
the most punchable face in Hollywood.
Yeah, and it's so Shailene Woodley or whatever, his child bride. She's been quoted as saying like she makes her own medicine and she forages for like medicinal herbs and shit. So she can put clay. It's like she ingests clay, and that's why she's safe.
Yeah, that's a thing.
This is what happens when people make too much money and they don't live in the real fucking world. They don't have copays. You know, if they had more copays for every little sniffle, they wouldn't be acting like this. But they just have some dude show up to their house with like steroids and shit whenever they feel a little down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I starred in Divergence 10 years ago, I wouldn't listen to anybody either.
Right. Especially about my career and where it's at, the trajectory of it.
Didn't she got cast as Mary Jane in like Spider-Man 2 or something, or Amazing Spider-Man 3 when they were going to make the third one or whatever? Maybe she's going to have a bit part in 2, but it got cut. I don't know.
She probably smelling like a fucking train wreck because her homemade deodorant probably wasn't cutting the mustard.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
She threw a fit at the craft services table because they didn't have clay.
Clay infused. Like she wants clay infused jelly beans, not regular jelly beans. Yeah, when I was a little kid, my aunt was a hippie, and I went to we were at their house visiting once, and my cousin, we're getting ready to go out, and he put on his deodorant, and he just had one of those like rocks of like the Crystal Rock deodorant. You know what I'm talking about?
I can envision it.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have a shape because you kind of crack it off a bigger piece, and it's like it looks like a lava lamp that he's just like rubbing under his armpit. And I remember at like 10 being like, that can't possibly work. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm not one to call anybody out. I rarely wear deodorant because I'm sensitive to it, so I'm fine with body stench. But you can't be showing up on the set of Divergent 4, The Virgins, smelling like a rhinoceros.
40-year-old Divergence.
Yeah. Isn't there a second name for
about alt stuff is that if it worked, it wouldn't be alt.
Yeah, isn't there a second name for Divergent? There's something in the Divergent series. It's like the name of the movie is ridiculous. It's like a chapter within a chapter.
I have no idea. Insurgents. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I know Kate Winslet was in that, and I wish she wasn't. Sorry, Kate.
Yeah. Oh, just like what's her face showed up in the Hunger Games. Julianne Moore.
Yeah. At least she got to play a president. Yeah, I saw a tweet, and it was from a Packers fan, and they said, we're going to lose the number 1 seed because of fucking Shailene Woodley.
You knew that shit was coming, though.
Yeah.
And his hissy fit over them drafting a quarterback. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When the quarterback gets to be 35, maybe the responsible thing for the team to do is start thinking about replacing him.
Right.
Because he's 35.
Yeah. Did he, before he threw his hissy fit, do you think he called Brett Favre?
Favre?
Because didn't the same thing happen to Favre? Didn't they draft this clown when Favre was like 34 or whatever? Yeah. Circle of life, bro.
Yeah, they're exactly the same.
Yeah. So I was listening to the podcast this morning.
Some reporter somewhere has got an Aaron Rodgers dick pic.
I was listening to a podcast this morning, Two Bears, One Cave, and Bert Kreischer was talking about this was recorded and released before this news came out, but he was talking about like a couple of weeks ago or a week ago or so, he was in Green Bay doing a stand-up show, and just out of nowhere, he decided to like DM Aaron Rodgers to see if he wanted to come to the show. And so he came to the show, and then he's like, it was so cool. Like they're talking about like how he's like a normal guy. Like you would have
he seems like a normal dude.
You would have thought he was just like a regular dude, but he was just like a regular dude hanging out. He was being nice. He said thank you. He gave me a jersey, all this shit, right? He's like, it's so much fun. I had so much fun hanging out with him. And then like 10 minutes later in the podcast, they were talking about like traveling and going out. And Bert was like, I'm still a little worried about COVID. Like I don't go. Like I just stayed on my tour bus and I do my shows, but I don't go out to like bars. I don't do tours of like distilleries or whatever. Like I'm just worried. I just want to be safe. I'm worried about exposing myself to too many people. And then I'm like, wait till he finds out that the dude that he was like doing body shots with at a green room in Green Bay was unvaxxed.
I don't know.
Time.
Maybe Green Bay's the problem. Maybe if you're the biggest celebrity within 1,000 miles of anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's a problem.
Yeah.
Like if he played for the Rams or something, would he be as big a diva? I don't know.
I don't know anything about him except I hate his mustache, I hate his hair, and I hate
that he's in every fucking commercial on TV because I hate that guy's fucking face.
Yeah. Fuck A-Rod. Raj
and A-Rod.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's reasons not to like A-Rod either. Sure he did some shit I can't remember, but I remember him being in the news for something.
I don't know. Probably not. He's probably fine.
I think I read somewhere that he owns a male cosmetic line.
Sure.
Cosmetics for men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is all about the pharmaceuticals.
So real quick, as we get into it, people are probably, listener was probably like, oh, lucky Ryan, Everton's game this week is at 1:00 on a Monday. You don't have to get up early just to watch them lose and play like shit. You're not waking up at 6 to watch them get trounced. 1:00, you get to go have a beer. You get to relax, take a break from your day, coloring a cover. I don't know if I can talk about yet. Fantastically amazing artist. And I go and I watch the game, and it's like a fucking youth soccer league team playing against fucking Man U. Wolverhampton whooped our asses, and they're Wolverhampton.
So many dad fights.
It was ridiculous. So Everton's on a fucking 3-week losing streak. We went from
that's like a bender.
We went from like 4th in the league to I think now we're like middle of the table. We're probably 10th or 11th at this point. We got some injuries, but hey, everyone play. You gotta have people that can step up, and we don't have people that can step up.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
It is pretty sad.
Pardon me.
Wow, got a tie on and everything.
Oh. Yeah, Arsenal's going in the other direction. Yeah, they had their shit spot at the beginning of the season. But yeah, since getting hammered by City, they've they haven't lost in 9 matches. So that's nice.
Yeah, go Gunners.
Yeah.
I got to try to get your. I'm going to spend the next month trying to convince you to meet me at Yucca Tap Room at 9 a.m. on December 4th.
Ugh.
So I'll work on that. But yeah, EPL is fine, except my team sucks. I haven't watched anything, but I did start watching Derek because of you.
Yeah, that's great.
It's difficult though. It's too much. I thought it was going to be fun like Ted Lasso, and it's sad like Ted Lasso. You know what I mean? Like it's
right. You thought it was going to be season 1 Ted Lasso,
yeah,
but instead it was season 2.
Right. So there's like 1 or 2 good laughs per episode, but then there's also 1 or 2 times where I'm like, I'm not going to fucking cry right now. Like you're going to cry. And am I going to like old people? Am I going to like old people when I'm done watching this show? Because I don't want that either. You know, like, yeah, it's good. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, solidly still my second favorite show.
Yeah, I wonder if he got any flack for that.
For what?
For playing an autistic person, which I assume is what's happening.
I don't know. I haven't read anything, and I've never wondered. Yeah. I'm not going to Google that. I don't want to know.
Right. You don't want to harsh your buzz about Derek.
Right. And if you haven't, you should give Afterlife a watch. It's not the same, but it's good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Cool. Yeah.
Bye.
I like the character of Doug. I assume he's coming back. Spoiler alert. Dougie quit in the episode, right? The season finale episode, or the first episode of season. I assume he's coming back, but I like him, and
no heartthrob has ever had hair like this.
I couldn't remember where I'd seen him from, but he was the guy in An Idiot Abroad. He's not really an actor. I mean, he is, but he was a producer for them, and then he was on An Idiot Abroad.
Yes.
So
in season 2 he leaves, so I don't know if that had anything to do with Idiot Abroad, it being at the same time or not.
I don't know. But
Dougie's great. His hair. This bit fucked off. This bit stayed.
Yeah, the best part is he's like, what did he say? Oh, the last good thing I did, or he's like, I was the sperm that reached the egg, and it's my greatest. It was like the last good thing I ever did, or it's the last thing I ever won. I think it's what he said. We could do this all day, but it's boring for listener.
I watch it pretty regularly, like every 4 or 5 months I'll go through it. And every time I do, I wish I had a supercut with all of the Kev sex stuff taken out so that I could show it to my 10-year-old, because I think they really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Recommended. 2 thumbs up. And then I also recommend, real quick, I think it just came out on Netflix, The Harder They Fall. It's a Western.
What is this?
So it's a Western, but it's a Western with like a majority black cast.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just a Western, but it's got like a jazzy hip hop soundtrack to it. So it's kind of like how Young Guns was, when Young Guns came out, it was like cool. This is like cool too.
Wow.
Yeah, and it says right from the start, like these are all these characters
turning into the Emilio Estevez show.
These are it says at the start, all the characters are based on real people, but these are not real events. So I think they just took like famous outlaws, and Bass Reeves Bass Reeves is in it. He was like a U.S. Marshal. So I think they just took famous African American kind of.
It's like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like. Idris Elba's in it. Jason Masters, Kang, right? Isn't that his name? Jason Masters?
I don't know.
From Lovecraft Country, Loki. He plays Kang, and he's going to play Kang in the MCU. He's in it. Zazie Beetz is in it. Regina King, Oscar winner Regina King. Yeah, it's good.
I'll give it a watch. Is it a movie or is it a series?
It's a movie on Netflix. Okay. Yeah, it's good.
I can deal with that.
Yeah. All right. You got anything else you want to talk about? Or you just want to breeze through our topic?
Finished Y last night.
Did they even release all of them?
10 was the last episode of the season. Yeah. It was just a sort of a good effort, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those shows.
I don't know. I've got, like we said previously, I've just got post-apocalypse fatigue.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that I started watching it a couple of weeks late, so there were already like 3 of them out. So then we binged all 3 on like a Saturday, and then it just never came up. Like, oh, are there new episodes of Y the Last Man? Like, we just stopped watching and never felt the need to go back and finish.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Too bad. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. It's fine. It's a thing that's out there. It's just not for me. I'm glad there's people that like it if they do.
Yeah.
Everybody should have things that they like.
Yeah, I would say it's just too bad that like turning Pia Guerra, the artist Pia Guerra, she's not going to get any more money. That's a bummer. Like, let these shows.
It'll find a home somewhere. Yeah. Roku channel will pick it up. For let 6 episodes.
Let them run forever so comic creators can get paid. But I'm not going to watch it.
No, it's whatever. I've got no room for feel bad things.
I've just got no room for anything except sports. Like, every time I come home from work, if my wife's here, she's watching like true crime shows, and she's like,
feel bad stuff.
Yeah, she's like, you can watch whatever you want, and I'm like, all I'm going to do is find some hockey game to watch, and I know she doesn't want to do that, so I just get on my phone or whatever. But yeah, I don't have time for shit. All I want to do is watch sports because I don't want to think about anything. Like, we want to start Raised by Wolves, which is a Ridley Scott sci-fi thing on HBO Max. There's 1 season of it with another season coming. And I'm just like, that's something I'm going to have to like sit down and like pay attention to and like get involved with. Like, there's just so many shows that I haven't started the next season of just because I'm not in the mood to like put energy, to give my energy to something. Right. Whereas sports, I can just like listen to it in the background. It's nothing. Except Everton, I give them my heart and they give me shit. Louder noise. Yeah. Okay. So today's topic, we try to wrap this up fairly soon. We both have work to do. Today's topic, I just thought I would pull some shit about getting old. So here's a list of some things to do before you're 50. And before you think these are all dumb, I just want to let you know it's according to the uppermost authority on such topics, and it's lifehack.org. Provided this list. So I just pulled a handful of them. They had 25 of them, but they're all terrible. So I pulled the least terrible ones. So yeah, we'll just we'll go through them, and we'll say whether they're dumb or not.
Let's do it.
Travel the world alone.
Okay.
I'm 1,000% on board with this. Because when you travel by yourself, you don't have to answer to, no one else's schedule is affecting you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll buy that. Sure. Yeah, I'll ship it.
Yeah, like we had when we traveled. So when we went to Albuquerque, it was Gonzo, me, and my brother all went. And so we have three three people with three agendas or three lives that are pulling on you, right? So we had the opportunity. We thought, oh, let's cut out early so we don't have to get up at 5 a.m. and drive 7 hours. Couldn't do that because someone couldn't leave early the day before. Okay. So then we found out on Sunday our hotel rooms were paid through for another day. We could just stay and not leave immediately after the show, have another night in Albuquerque, and then drive up. One of us couldn't do that because they had to be back by early Monday morning. So it's like there's no flexibility when you travel with people. Or there's not as much flexibility when you travel. Whereas if it was just me,
Why are you going somewhere for a full weekend if you have to be back Monday morning?
Work. It was a work trip. Scott, you would know, you were invited, but no, you had to stay home and have a birthday and Halloween.
Right.
Oh, how did Halloween go? Was it fun? Lots of kids?
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
Halloween.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you got your
There's
money's,
nothing to talk about.
did you get your money's worth out of those costumes for your kids?
Oh yeah, absolutely. My 8-year-old will definitely be able to wear his toilet costume out in the neighborhood whenever he wants.
You know what you should do? If you have irrigation, you should wait till the big green area by your house is filled with irrigation water and just let them go sit in the middle of it. It's the same thing.
Ugh.
All right, so travel, we're going to ship it because I love to travel. I got road trips. I've said this before. I got road trips planned that no one's even invited on. It's not like I'm going by myself because no one else wants to go. No one else is invited. So yeah, travel the world alone. Ship it. But before you're 50, you can do that forever. But sure, I guess after 50, you're like tired. You're not really hitting up the nightclub spots.
Yeah, nothing works anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have a wheelchair. I think as soon as you turn like 51, you get a wheelchair or a walker.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to have access to clean catheter tubes.
All right, next on the list. Start something that lasts.
I don't know what that means.
I started a family that I brought into this world that might kill them. So I don't even know if that's going to last, though.
I don't know.
They might not have fresh water in 12 years.
Like a game of Monopoly? I don't know what that means.
I think it means like a business. Like you're a business owner. You started a business. Might not last, though.
No, it's getting shut down tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess like a foundation, like a like a garden. I mean, what are they talking about here?
I don't know. You build a perpetual motion machine. I don't know what this means. This is dumb. I'm going to write a chain letter.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, a pyramid scheme. Form one of those. That'll last. Yeah, this is all like bullshit hippie shit, but it's like hippie shit for dummies. So if someone reads that and they're like going to go to their Instagram page, and that'll be like their quote for the day. It's like, start something that lasts, and it'll just be like, kindness. I started kindness. Like, come on, man. What the fuck? So yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna lock myself in a room for 2 weeks and invent a new slang word.
Yeah, that's fetch. Become a mentee. So I combined these. One was become a mentee, and then because the writer of this list is such a good writer, the next one was become a mentor. So I combined them because I'm a good editor. So become a mentee or mentor. I included this one because I feel like in our line of business, having a mentor is good, and if you can help somebody else, that's good as well.
Well, in anything, right? That's the kind thing to do.
Yeah, but I don't want to like if I saw the neighbor kid struggling to use his weed whacker correctly, I wouldn't go over there and mentor him on how to weed whack his yard.
Well, if you do it for himself, or if you do it for him, then his weeds are whacked for one day. But if you teach him how to whack weeds, he'll whack weeds for life.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm not interested in that kind of mentor situation. Now, look,
Yeah.
if there was some kid like my kid's generation is growing up on like they only drink like White Claws and they don't like so like if there's like a 30-year-old, so let's say in 10 years someone's never had a PBR in a dive bar. This 30-year-old family man who just needs something new in life, right? Because he's sick of Costco and he's sick of like going to like fucking Applebee's with his shitty family. So he wants to explore something. I could mentor him on like, hey man, there's these bars you go to where dogs aren't allowed, and he'll be like, what
Right.
the? He'll be like, what the fuck? I'll be like, yeah. And sometimes there's both young and old women in there at the same time, and he'll be like, huh? I'm like, yeah.
It's Homer teaching Flanders how to have a good time.
Yeah, let me introduce you to the Bikini Lounge, my friend. Your life will never be the same. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of mentor program.
When I see this on the list, I want to say manatee. Become a manatee. I don't think that's bad advice.
No, if I was a better swimmer, I'm essentially a manatee right now. If I was just a
Yeah.
better swimmer, what do they call them? Dugong?
What?
They call them like sea cows and dugongs.
Sea cows. Yeah.
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 That's
Sailors mistook them for mermaids.
yeah. See, I tick every box except I'm not a strong swimmer.
How long do you need to be at sea? Feel like I gotta have that.
I need some mottled gray flesh up in here. Yeah, but I agree with this. Become a mentee mentor. If someone has questions for you, like that's one of the reasons I think Phil is so beloved in our industry. Phil Hester is that he'll answer whatever questions you have. If you have his number, he'll answer. You just text him, he'll answer you. He'll give you an answer. Like I like that. I don't like the like I was talking to Gonzo today. Like I wish I had a group, and there are these groups. I just don't know the people in them. But like I wish I had a Discord server or whatever where like I could go on and ask questions about coloring to other professional colorists. You know, just
Sure.
shoot. Yeah, that kind of thing. That kind of like group think tank mentor mentee thing. I don't know. But I think comics lends itself to that. I don't think most people are assholes in comics. They all want to help the next guy or girl.
Yeah, I think that's largely true. And I don't know. That's what YouTube's for. You want to know how to do something? YouTube.
Yeah, but like if I had like, for example, if I had a contract question or something, it'd be easy to hop into a forum of someone who's been in my situation.
Sure. Yeah.
And ask their opinion. That's what I mean. Yes, YouTube is amazing.
Yeah, I don't teach my kids shit. Just watch a YouTube video.
Yeah. Well, if you teach them, then they learn how to do it for one time. If you teach them how to use YouTube, they can learn everything forever.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I like your note.
They'll learn how to change the oil on the car and how to stop the steal.
Yeah. Same time. I like your note on the next one. The next one is just give back.
Yeah, I don't. That's fine. That sounds like become a mentor, and it's also a wooden sign that you buy on Etsy along with start something that lasts.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. I think if you stopped with give, then it would be fine. Give back implies that you've gotten something. And I know that the two of us here sitting talking as cis white males. But I don't know. We didn't ask for that. It's God's fault, I guess.
Yeah, it's the jizz lottery, and we just hit the jackpot.
Yeah.
Yeah, give back. Like, I guess the only thing, and this is where people are going to be, it's the one thing that matters. The only thing I can give is time and effort. And of course, the person with the Etsy sign is going to be like, well, that's the most important thing you can give is your time. No.
Right. And if you're going to be a mentor, then you're giving back.
Right. But also, as someone in the past who has needed things, I don't need people's time. I need people's money. So yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like someone like if there was a guy who was like like, hey, I want to learn how to draw comics, and I'm like, okay, well, come to the studio as a be our intern, and in return, I'll give you my knowledge and I'll show you how to do this stuff. And then someone else is like, or I will give you $500. That dude is going to take the $500.
Yeah, and it's a nice sentiment for young people. But I have 3 kids. What more do I have to give?
Yeah, you can't get blood from a hemophiliac.
I walk around all day long with my pockets turned out.
Oh, that's just because you remind you of when you were in prison and you want someone to grab it, hold on to it. Yeah, you can't. Whenever like in the past when I've had when I've owed money for taxes and I'm like, well, I'll just pay him when I can pay him, but I can't pay him right now. And then I'm like, well, what are they going to do? I mean, you can't. What are you going to do? You're going to put me in debtor's prison? You can't garnish my check because the boss won't allow it. And so you can't get blood from a turnip. What are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know any of these phrases.
I heard a radio commercial for an attorney, injury attorney or whatever. Some guy got hit by a bus or whatever, and the attorney got him $500,000 from whatever. You're never going to see that fucking money. You know, dude driving without insurance in some clunker that hits you in the crosswalk. What the fuck do you think you're going to get out of him?
Well, the most important thing is to get his respect.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Next one is start a journal, which I've thought about. I have started outside of like comics I've started and never finished. Journals are second to things I've started and never finished.
Well, that's not a thing you finish though.
Wow. Now who's turned 40 right? And all of a sudden you got this wisdom.
It's just a thing that continues. It's finished when you're dead.
Yeah, I had earlier a couple of months ago, I was like, I'm going to start sending myself an email every day. How do you feel? How do you sleep? What's going on? So I could look back on those and and kind of get an adjustment of how it's going. And that email thread has like 3 days worth in it. And then it was just like, So yeah, I don't know. I like the idea. I like the sentiment of like, what am I grateful for today? What's upsetting me today? And then maybe at the end of the week, you read your week's emails or your week's notes and you figure out, oh, this triggered me to this, or this set me off on this. But that involves
so exhausting.
That involves time and effort and like,
yeah,
I could be watching the Canadians play the Leafs right now, like two teams I don't give a shit about. I could be doing that instead of bettering myself.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like your
episode 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier isn't going to watch itself.
Yeah, I do like your note here. Never put anything in print, because then someone else could find it and they would know all your secrets.
Correct.
Yeah, and that little fucking lock is not stopping anybody.
Yeah, going back to that email thing, I had an idea when my first kid was born to start like a website and just write down things like about his life every day. And so when he's old and I'm dead, you have all this stuff like a fucking Lifetime movie or something. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What a bad idea.
You've got mail too.
Yeah. It's I don't know. There's something I don't know. I was going to say creepy about communicating with somebody posthumously, but I guess that's what all written stuff is.
Yeah, I think your idea is nice, but also who's going to keep up on that? Like,
I'm not going to do that.
You see these pictures, like there's shit going around the internet of like this family took a picture with their baby every day for 5 years, and then it's like a frame by frame film or whatever.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
what, do they not have jobs? Like what? Like it's in the same place. Like they have a place in their house. Like so for 5 years you couldn't put anything in that corner of your house.
Yeah, they probably also have a retirement plan and shit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they probably sold like an app that has no vowels in it. Like fuck them. But yeah, this is something I would like to get to, and I think it's healthy and I think it's beneficial. It's just, again, if I don't do it for a day, it's like comics. Like if I don't pick up a monthly comic if I'm reading a monthly comic and I love it and I just don't pick it up for 2-3 months, I'll never pick it up again.
I think it's helpful for me anyway, when you're struggling with something, to be able to have to organize your thoughts in a way that makes sense. So I appreciate it for that. But just in like a routine sort of everyday thing, no. It's not a necessity. It's a tool. And if it helps you, that's great. But it's not for everybody. Nothing's for everybody.
Water.
I don't know.
Air.
Somebody's allergic to water, right? I mean, they don't live long, but
speaking of shit that allergic to that people aren't allergic to, last night I ordered a fucking a little personal pizza. It was like an appetizer thing, and it just said pesto, spinach pesto pizza.
Okay.
It came with huge chunks of tomatoes, huge chunks of mushrooms. I'm like, motherfucker, why isn't it called a mushroom spinach pesto? And then I looked at my wife and I'm like, no one must be allergic to mushrooms. Because if this had pine nuts on it, it sure as fuck would say pine nuts. Right? I hate that shit. I hate it when not everything is listed when you order food. I want every fucking ingredient listed. Sorry, journal prompt.
Sounds terrible.
I should write that in my journal, and then maybe I'll learn to. A smart person would then learn to ask next time. But no, I'm going to do the same thing a week from now, and I'm going to complain then.
Well, we are old now. You have to do that. You have to ask the waitress what is in it.
Yeah. You are old, man. You've adjusted your glasses like 30 times since we started recording. Next on the list, attend a religious event. And then it said that's not your own. So I assume they mean if you're a preacher, if you own your own church, go to a different church.
Go to a synagogue.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
I have been to
expose yourself to other bullshit.
Yes, I'm not religious, and I've been to Catholic services. I've been to Baptist services. I've been to Episcopalian services. So I have done this, and the only thing I've garnered from any of it is that Catholics, there's a lot of weird chanting and eating.
Yeah, I don't understand this one at all.
I think they're saying
attend a religious event,
like trying to. I think the church. They could have just said service. But they use the word event.
Right.
But what if the religious event that you choose to attend is like what if it's like Jonestown Mass? Yeah. What if you just picked the wrong fucking day to be part of the group? You're on the rooftop waiting for the fucking rapture, and you just wanted to go there for like the crab puffs, and next thing you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were times when I was younger, you'd have a sleepover with friends on a Saturday night, and then they go to church the next day. So I guess that's what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, I voluntarily went to church with a friend of mine for like maybe a month or two when I was like 12. Like I liked the snacks. I liked the cute girls that were there.
Christ.
But Christ on a cracker. Sometimes, if you're lucky, if they get the good stuff. But yeah, that's fine. Like I've never gone to one. Like the most recent when I went to this is like 10 years ago. Went to like a Catholic mass because it's a whole nother story that I can't talk about. But anyways, we were there, and when it was over, I was like, I'm glad I experienced that, but maybe that's what this is. Experience it, but I never need to go back.
Why though? I don't get the why. Like there's nothing to be gained here. Is there enlightenment, or are you supposed to?
Maybe you'll learn something.
Are you supposed to experience a different perspective on bullshit? Bullshit from any angle is still bullshit.
Well, maybe something will click, and it'll be something you've been missing your whole life.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Yeah, like Claudia Schiffer in 1992. Something I've been missing my whole life. Let's jump ahead here. I don't care about the next one.
Okay.
Visit your elementary teacher. First
Yeah,
of all, what do they go to? Like, is Little House on the Prairie? You had one? Like I probably have 50 elementary school teachers over the course of my career in elementary school. And by the way, I couldn't tell you a single name of any teacher I had, even in high school.
yeah. Even if it's one that's had some profound impact on you, one you've taken away this experience, right? And it's really moved you to do this thing or whatever. I don't know. Maybe you've had a movie you've seen that had the same sort of effect, and you go to the premiere of the Star's next movie or something and tell them about it. They're not going to fucking know who you are. These goddamn teachers have 30 kids in their class every year. And it's been 25 years since you've seen them or whatever. So they've gone through,
Right.
1,600
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, what in the world makes you think they're going to remember you first of all?
Unless you were a real piece of shit as a kid.
Right.
They're not going to know who you are.
Right. Or unless they were molested you, then they might remember the handful of kids that that they loved. But yeah, my kindergarten teacher who couldn't get me to nap. I don't think I'm making the cut. I don't think I'm stuck in that memory.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What are you going to talk about? Still having trouble sleeping?
Did you ever master column multiplication? I would be like, no, and I told you I would never fucking need it either. That's the only reason to go back to see your teachers. Is just to go and say, I didn't need anything I learned in this class. Didn't need anything I learned in this class. Stay in school, kids. Yes.
They don't want to see you.
No. Yeah, and if you run into someone from school that you weren't close with, but you recognized them, you might say hi, but I would most likely walk. If I was in fucking Target and I saw someone that I knew that I used to work with, I would probably just walk away before they saw me. Because nobody wants this interaction.
No, and my experience with teachers is that outside of school, they don't want anything to do with school.
No, they're too busy smoking dope and drinking, man. That's my experience with teachers outside of school.
Yeah. No, it's dumb.
Yeah, it is dumb. Speaking of dumb, next, have a signature dish.
Yeah, sure. I assume this is a thing that you make.
Yes, so that you can, when your wife brings home her elementary school teacher, you can make your signature dish,
right,
to impress them,
right. So when a potluck comes up or something, people ask you for this specific thing.
Do you have a go-to dish that you make that's not like fish sticks? If someone's coming over, someone you want to impress. If you were gonna have me over for dinner and you were gonna make something, what would you make?
Boy, I don't do anything well. And it wouldn't matter because my kids don't eat shit anyhow. I do pretty decent cheeseburgers and anything egg-based.
Fried, hard-boiled, soft-boiled, scrambled.
Egg salad, deviled eggs. Anything with egg and mayonnaise.
Oh,
that's my jam.
I'm never coming over. We're ordering in.
And cookies. I make some killer chocolate chip cookies.
Okay. You don't just follow the recipe though, because my dad makes a killer banana pudding, but
it's in here.
But my dad's killer banana pudding is the ingredient on the back of the Nilla wafers box. Yes. Yeah. It's got to be Nilla wafers though. It's got to be Nabisco Nilla wafers, not this knockoff bullshit. But yeah, I don't. I cook a lot, and I make a lot of things that we enjoy. I'm trying to say if I just, it would probably be.
Wish I did.
It'd probably be even the stuff that I make that I'll make a chicken katsu, which is a breaded chicken, Japanese breaded chicken. Or I'll make a curry with Japanese curry, but all that is I'm just buying the packaged curry, and just putting it over vegetables and meat. Like it's not like I'm making that curry from scratch.
Right.
So I don't. I make pretty good soups.
Oh.
Pretty good soups I can make.
Oh.
So if it's wintertime, you're getting a nice, maybe a kale and sausage soup, something like that.
Not a lot of call for that out here.
No, but it's good. Yeah, I like this though. I think everyone should be able to cook at least one thing. And
Sure.
I look forward to trying your cheeseburgers someday.
They're good.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you fuck up a cheeseburger?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, you just cook it. Burgers are good. You know, like I could eat a burger. I could rotate between burgers and tacos, and just for the rest of my life. One day I have tacos, one day I have burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buy wine today that you'll drink in 20 years.
Okay, sure.
My response to that is just buy a really nice bottle in 20 years. Like, is the Bay Bridge going to be better in 20 years than it's going to be today?
Well, isn't that the thing about wine, that it continues to mature in the bottle?
I guess, but I mean, you have to buy a pretty decent bottle from the jump.
You'd have to do your homework on what ages
right
properly.
But also, in the Cody household, there's not a bottle of alcohol that's lasting 20 days, much less 20 years. Like, this is something like I would have to have someone hold on to this for me. You know, drop it. Like, I'd have to put it in your garage and hide it from you. And then in 20 years, go search for it or something, you know, like this.
Right. You put it in a time capsule and bury it.
Yes. This implies that you have like a wine rack in your basement that you can let one get dusty. Like, I've never even had to wipe the dust off a bottle of wine. So it ain't making it 20 years.
I'll just put it in my 8-year-old's room. I'll never see it again.
There you go. Yeah, I noticed you're not recording in there today.
Reach out to an old friend. Yeah, this is the same. They don't want to see you either.
Well,
if they're an old friend, that means you're not talking, and you're not talking because nobody cares to.
Yeah, like there's not a friend of mine that I consider a close friend that I go more than like a couple of weeks without texting, or, you know, like I don't have a close friend that I just haven't talked to in 6 months. Because it's like what I said earlier about the comics. If you haven't talked to them in 6 months and you're not missing them, how good of a friend were they? You know, like it's like the going to the high school reunions and shit. Like, I talk to everybody I want to talk to from high school. There's like 4 of them, and I already talked to them.
That's what social media is for.
Yeah.
The fuck are you going to talk about?
Yeah, like I don't even know what this means. Am I supposed to just like an old acquaintance? Because that's not going to happen. So
no, this is dumb.
Yeah, first of all, come on, lifehack.org. They don't make dumb content for their dumb site.
Oh, it is a .org. It can't be bad.
That's right. Someone
must be classy and
yeah. I mean, they are a 501c
thoughtful
charity. Obviously, if it's .org, you don't just get the .org designation. I'm going to start a charity for comics work and just pay myself like $50,000 a year to run the charity and just take a loss every year. It's going to suck.
Brilliant.
But I can't keep paying these taxes. This next one is good. We're going to start wrapping this up on a good one. Learn how to say no.
I agree with that.
Yes. It's hard sometimes, especially in comics where you're like, you don't know when the next job's coming. It's easy to take every job you're offered, and sometimes it's much less pay than you want or something like that. But it's been my experience. It'll work itself out. If you do say no, something else will pop up. Or you won't be able to pay your bills. One or the other. One of those two things will happen. But
that's a good thing. You should start young. This is not a thing to do. I guess this is before you're 50. Right. So, like, from the jump, you should be telling people no.
Yeah, like Like there's another great way to like I'm thinking about it as work, but also think about it as like your time. Like someone's like, "Hey, do you want to go do this?" It's okay to say no. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm a social butterfly. I like to go out all the time, but it's okay to someone texts you and says, "Hey, let's do this." It's okay to be like, "Nah, not for you though." If I text you and I say, "Hey, let's go meet somewhere," there better not be a no at the end of that. Better be some bullshit lie about something else you have to do.
Mm.
But yeah, the power of just no, like don't even give it because you don't know anyone an excuse. Someone says, "Hey, you want to get a drink this weekend?" Your response is going to be like, "Oh, I don't think I can make it. I'm too busy." But just say no.
Mm. That's
No.
not a good example.
No, it's not a good example.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right.
It's like I run a petting zoo out of here because I can't say no.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good example.
Yeah, you can't say no to children who want more animals to occupy space. But I mean, the amount of joy those animals bring you, I'm sure, is far exceeds the amount of work.
Because I can't handle a 10-year-old being upset for an afternoon. I now have 15 years of work.
Yeah, it's okay though. The love that both children and pets bring into our lives, or what would we do without it? Without it, we would just be unencumbered by anything. And what would we do with ourselves then?
Oh, terrible.
Imagine
travel the world alone. Yeah.
I could probably have more time to journal if I didn't have pets. Because taking care of the pets is like 5 minutes a day. You only need a couple minutes a day to journal. So,
right.
Yeah, it's Reggie and Gray Cat's fault that I don't keep a journal.
You make the time.
That's right. Also, it's the reason that I drink. So if I didn't have the pets, I could have a bottle of wine last for 20 years. Last but least, write a letter to your 10-year future self. I don't understand what that means.
I don't understand the point. What?
I mean, I tell people all the time, we're obviously not doing this podcast to get rich. I'm forcing you to do this podcast as a time capsule of whatever's going on in the week in our friendship, in our careers, whatever. To me, that's what this podcast is. That's kind of the same thing, but I'm not going to write a fucking letter to me. Like, write a letter to the person you hate most, who's the least interesting person in the world.
Like what am I supposed to write about?
Yeah. Like
my hopes for
maybe
10-year older me, that 10-year older me can just be upset.
Yeah, it's write a letter now to disappoint yourself in 10 years.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah. Like my thing would be like still waking up with morning wood. Got that going for me. But then in 10 years,
where I put that bottle of wine.
And then in that 10-year letter will be another letter that says open in another 10 years. Because you got to wait 20 according to lifehack.org. Yeah. I don't know. This is all like...
I'll write myself a scavenger hunt.
This whole list is for people who never once had to worry about how they were going to get enough gas in their car to like go pick up a kid from daycare or something, like this is a list for people who don't worry. Who has time and who does this?
Yeah. And there's no way that letter's going to survive 10 years. I'm going to lose the fuck out of that right away.
I lose everything. The only way for me to not lose that letter would be for me to like tape it to like, I get my wallet. I guess if I carried it around in my wallet, I might hold on to it for 10 years. But then it's just going to be like
dumb.
It's going to be terrible. And then in 10 years, I'm not even going to want to read it. Or I'll probably have to burn it for warmth.
Yeah. I'm going to be dead in 10 years. So.
Yeah, long before the 10 years date comes up, I'll set that shit on fire. to either burn for warmth or to cook my drugs. You know, like it's the only thing I got left that'll burn, but I got to get that hit. Yeah, so this list is dumb, but I wanted to do something age related because you're old now. Welcome to the club. 40 is the new 22.
Oh,
isn't that what they say?
the new 22.
Yeah.
Why 22?
I don't know. I was watching. Oh, it might have been on Derek where they were talking like,
Oh, yeah.
60s, 50s, the new 40s.
50s, yeah.
60s, the new 50. 40s, the new 30. And they're like, what's 70? And they're like, 70's old. Yeah.
What about 80? Don't worry about it. You're fucked.
Yeah. I guess it's only going to go downhill from here. I think 50s. I think my 50s will be okay. I know people in their 50s; they seem fine. But I think 60s are where shit's gonna. So I basically have like 15 years to do all these things: travel the world alone, become a mentor, give back. You know, visit my elementary school teacher who will be 85 at that point. Who knows? Maybe I'll learn to say no in the next 15 years.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've got a family history of heart problems. So I don't have to worry so much about 50, 60, 70.
Well, unfortunately, I might just fall ass backwards into being 90 plus because it just seems to be what angry Codys do. The angrier, the longer they live. So I'm in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, my great grandma was mean as shit, and she lived to be like 97.
Well, that's a strong emotion.
Yes. Let the hate fuel you.
Yeah. Also, like Derek, you don't drink and don't smoke, and you'll live another 10 years, but they're the worst 10 years.
Yes. All right. Well, happy birthday. And I hope the next decade for you is great.
Yeah. 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 I guess I have the same hope.
Well, when you next celebrate your big birthday, maybe you'll be an empty nester by then. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. I'll probably be in some Q concentration camp by 50.
Yeah. But the problem is you're going to still need like all your supplies and stuff because you'll still be like doing fill-ins at DC.
That's true.
That's right. We need you on the Clayface annual. Scott.
I just need the current ref.
Yeah, you'll do what's the villain's name? The ventriloquist. You'll do like a maxi series with Tom King.
Scarface.
Scarface. Shit, you'd be so lucky to do a Scarface maxi series with Tom King.
He'll have some horrible costume by then.
Be a career maker. Yeah, it'll have all these like stripes and shit in it. All right, but we love DC Comics. Both of us do. So yeah, I'm just making fun of Scott. That's what I do. So handsome and young, I got to do something. I mean, look, you don't look a day over 55 as it is right now.
Oh, that's good.
So you keep that soul young.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And
I'm all set for 56 plus then.
Yes. And I got flushed cheeks like a toddler. I don't look a day over like 3 months.
Just want to pinch them.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they're so red. It's embarrassing. Okay.
A porcelain doll.
Speaking of things that are beautiful, send us out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. How was your beer? We keep forgetting to do this. Sorry.
Oh,
How was your 10-year Russell's Reserve?
um, it was fine. It was the mouthfeel was very thin, and the bite was not as pronounced as I thought it was going to be for a 90 proof and a higher rye content. Uh, I don't know. I think the fair answer would be to say that the jury's still out, and I can't really give it an accurate rating after, um, what amounted to probably 4 or 5 sips out of this thing. And I haven't tried it on the rocks. Maybe it mixes. I don't know. Maybe a splash of water, open things up. I'll try all the things, and after I've tried all the things, I'll write a full report and get back to everybody.
Okay. Well, I'll make a note in my journal then to follow up with this question.
Yes, please do.
Yes. New Belgium Voodoo. See, Voodoo Ranger Future Hop. It's dependable, just like the other ones. I mean, if it's on sale, grab it. If you like the Voodoo Ranger IPAs, grab it. It's fine. Didn't feel too heavy to be 8%, but also didn't. If not for a moment, was I wowed by it. It was just fine. So I'll give it a 3. Again, they should get a bump just for branding. Like they got good illustrations. They know how to brand. Give it a 3.
Yeah.
All right. Much like things that are average, Scott, send us out of here.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're all gonna die anyhow.